For this video, I want to talk about smartphones that I've purchased over the years that I still own and in some cases still use. Even if the phone is discontinued, even if there's no updates for the phone, I can't stop using these particular phones because I just like them for what they are, for the aesthetics and the features that they have. So in my case, even though a lot of people are influenced by buying a new phone just to get the updates for it, and 9 out of 10 people can't even name 10 updates that are for the phone, in my opinion, it doesn't matter if you use a phone that doesn't have updates. Yes, it might be open to hackers to get into your phone, but even if you do have a phone that has the latest updates, if a hacker wants to get into your phone, it doesn't matter if it's the top of the line phone or has the best updates, they can get right into it. Because hackers get into all kinds of systems through all kinds of companies. So if they wanted to target you, just an individual consumer, they can do that. It's very easy. So like I said, for me, it doesn't matter if you get a brand new phone, if you get a phone 4 years old or 5 years old, as long as it works, it's good for you. So I just want to talk about the phones that I've purchased over the years, and like I said, some of them I still use to this very day because of the functions that it has. And I will not be going over these phones in any particular order. So to start off, I'll start off with this one right here, the Unihertz Jelly Star. When Unihertz first came out with their small 4-inch phone, it took the internet or YouTube ablaze. A lot of people did reviews on this, but a lot of people never really use this phone on their everyday, on their day-to-day. So what I've done, actually this one is a Jelly Star. The Jelly 2 is right here. So they basically look the same size, but the Jelly Star has a bigger battery. But they both have basically the same functionality. And I really like the phone because of how small it is and the full features that it has, even though it has a small form factor. And what really set it apart was that on the SIM card tray, there's a micro SD card slot that a lot of phone companies got rid of. 3.5 millimeter jack that most phones got rid of. Stop playing around. I'm making my video. Now I won't be going over these phones in any particular order, so I'll just start off with this one. This phone right here has been near and dear to my heart, and I still use it every now and then. This is the Unihertz Jelly Star. Before this one, I actually owned the Jelly 2. Actually, I had the first Jelly as well, because I'm still a fan of the 4-inch factor phone. Excuse the buzzing, I'm at work. But the Jelly Star is the latest 4-inch phone that they have made, and this one has the biggest battery out of it. And what really made this phone stand out is of how small it is and certain features that are on it that most phones do not have anymore, such as, for example, 3.5 millimeter jack, micro SD card on the SIM reader on the SIM card tray. What is this? I forgot about this one. Oh, you can use this for flashlight. You can actually program this button to open up apps and things like that. So you can call that a programmable button. And a 2,000 milliamp battery inside this itty bitty phone. So this does last all day. And this has, believe it or not, fast wired charging. And I noticed that when I plugged it in at one point and saw that it went from a small percentage to a large percentage within 30 minutes. So this does have fast wired charging. So like I said, I've been a fan of this phone for a while and use it every now and then. Not because of how small it is or because it's less of a distraction, as people have said on YouTube, but I use it because of how small it is and because I figured out ways to use this in an innovative way. I did have a way to put this on here, actually with Velcro, and you can use it as a phone watch. Yes, it is very big, much bigger than your regular watch, but to have your phone and to use it on your wrist, pretty cool idea. And another cool idea, and this is with my Jelly 2. Look at this. The smallest retro game, retro game console, or you would say console, but retro game player that you've ever seen. This is very discontinued. You can't find this controller anywhere, but I mean, look how cool that is. Look how awesome that is. And it still works. So if you want me to do a video on just this right here, I think I've done one before, but if you want me to do a recent video, then let me know in the comments and I'll make a video on just this right here and how I use it. This next phone I want to talk about, the Galaxy S10 Plus. Now this phone was created when 3.5mm jacks were popular on phones, so it's a pretty old phone. It doesn't have a lot of great features, but when it did come out, it did have features that other phones didn't have. But what I do like about this phone is that one of the cameras has a shutter. So it has this thing that collapses where it lets in less light, but it just does something that it's cool. It just looks really cool. I have to really look it up to give you the full details of it, but when I saw that it did close in, I thought that was a really cool feature. And it did something for the pictures. But one thing that really made this phone stand out, this was Samsung's first phone where they had 1 terabyte of internal storage. This is their very first phone where they had 1 terabyte of internal storage. And this one right here is one of those phones. And this is an international phone, so this has an Exynos processor, and the reason why I got it was because I can root it. So this is a rooted phone where I can do a whole lot of cool stuff on it with, like I said, 1 terabyte of internal storage, and it has a micro SD card slot on the SIM card tray where you can add another up to 2 terabytes of storage, because they have 2 terabyte micro SD cards out now. So you can have 2 terabytes on the micro SD card, 1 terabyte internally, for a total of 3 terabytes. And if you really want to be savvy, you can buy a little hub and put on here, and you can add as much storage as you want because it'll read through the phone. So you can have a lot of storage on this one device. That's why I mainly got it. Now this phone is truly near and dear to my heart. The Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. This is one of Samsung's best phones they've ever created. Yes, it's a pretty large phablet phone, as they used to call them, but the size of the screen is fantastic. And the S Pen went inside. This was the last Note where the pen went on the inside. They changed the name from the Note to the S series after the Note 20 Ultra. And the cameras, great cameras. First phone that had 50x zoom. The first Note that had 50x zoom. This right here, you can take pictures of the moon. And it came out really well. Very great cameras, loved it. And the focus, oh my God. The focus, I wouldn't say rival Sony's, but very similar to Sony's autofocus. I'm talking, it was like crispy smooth and very fast. Love the focus on here, and I still use it every now and then. And this is the international version, so yep, I rooted this too. No, I actually didn't root it. I'm able to use custom ROMs on this, and I actually have custom ROMs on this one too. So this is not rooted either. I said it was rooted, but nope. With international phones, you can use custom ROMs. So with custom ROMs, you can use, if the ROM is made for it, or if someone made the ROM for this or extracted it from a particular phone, you can use Android 16 on these phones using a custom ROM. It is fantastic. It's not the best. It doesn't work quite as well as a phone that is made for Android 16, but if you don't want to buy a new phone but you still want to have Android 16 features, then get yourself an international phone and put a custom ROM on there. Like I said, just do the research on the custom ROM to make sure that it's stable. This phone right here was my phone of the year for last year, the Razr Ultra. Still love this phone because I actually use this too like a watch phone. It is a lot bigger than the Jelly Star, but look at that. to have a watch and a phone at the same time, yeah, it's kind of heavy, very heavy on your wrist. But just to have all that in one device, pretty cool. So I like this because of the 50 megapixel cameras all around. So you got two 50 megapixel cameras here. So the regular camera, the ultra wide, and even the portrait camera on the inside is also 50 megapixels. You can't go wrong with that. Flip up screen, so you have a nice screen on the inside. And for the most part, you can use pretty much 99% of your apps right here on the cover screen. And like I said, having this as your watch/phone, it'll open up and you have your time right there, just like a watch. No, it doesn't have a micro SD card slot, or 3.5 millimeter jack, but it's a very well-made phone. And like I said, it fits well in your pocket in this mode, and a very nice narrow screen when you open it up. So very good phone, and barely any bezels, and it's corner to corner for the image on the inside of the phone. Can't go wrong with this at all. Love this phone. This next phone is like me. It's an OG phone. The iPhone 5, in my opinion, was one of Apple's, no, I would say it was the best designed phone for pretty much anybody. Even though people like bigger phones now because they were influenced by it. I was trying to take this case out. This is a battery case because the battery is terrible. But this phone, the size of it, it just fits very well in your hand, especially when the case is off. One of the best designed, best fitting phones, especially for people with small hands like me. Just a great, fantastic phone. And I still use it today. I still have a charge. Now, I don't use it as my main phone. I use it to just play some of the older 32-bit games that you can't find in the App Store anymore. Such as one of the greatest games ever created, Sword and Poker 2, or Sword and Poker and Sword and Poker 2. Two of the best games ever made for any mobile device. Here was fun too. I mean, there were some really great games that were made for the iPhone because this was the first touchscreen phone that ever came out, and so everybody jumped on board for this phone. Skee Ball, man, this game is fun. Now, why is it fun over other skee ball games? Now, when you shoot a ball, you can manipulate it by using the accelerator to turn the trajectory of the ball. That's what's up. I love this. Fantastic. Love that game. So that's why I have 1 and 2. Price is Right. Great games. I mean, really great games for this phone. Love it. Like I said, too bad I can't really use it as my main phone. But another reason why I got it, this is permanently jailbroken. Permanently jailbroken. Jailbroken cannot get off, even if you turn off the phone. So, one of the last phones that was permanently jailbroken. Oh, this next phone, man, this phone was loved and not really hated, but it was loved, but it was loved by a small amount of people, a small community of people. And there's still a small community of people that still actually use the phone, me included. This phone right here was Microsoft's greatest phone, the Surface Duo, or the Surface Duo 2. The difference between both of them, Surface Duo 2 has a camera button, better cameras. With the Surface Duo, their idea was to be able to use it completely closed with no gap. So that's why I didn't have a camera on the outside of the phone. So this camera right here was your main camera for the inside and outside of the phone. And that was your main camera, but this camera was not a great quality camera, so people complained about that. And that's why when they made the 2, that's when they had the camera bump. And yes, it was a gap when you closed it up, but the gap wasn't that big, so it wasn't that big of a deal. So to have better cameras and a small gap when you close it or flip it around, that was a good idea for them to make this. So I used the Surface Duo 2 more than the 1. I transformed this to use Windows because someone figured out how to put Windows on here. I don't really use it as my Windows computer, but I mean, just the idea to have something this thin as a Windows 11 computer, you can't go wrong with it. I wish the developer of that particular ROM, you can call it, made more time so that you can install particular apps on here, Windows apps. This would have been fantastic. But the main reason why people like this phone is because you had two separate screens for two separate apps, and there was in a 4:3 aspect ratio, and you would be able to see a lot more content, and you could actually take an app and stretch it across. Yeah, you have this particular line divider that divides the app, but still, it was still a great phone. And to be able to use two apps on the 4:3 aspect ratios, fantastic. So, for example, I use this with a dual apps. I use Parsec on one app so I can play Diablo 4 on the go, and I put YouTube on here on the other screen so that I can watch videos of builds and then create my build in real time while I'm watching the video. Sick, absolutely sick. I have two more phones I want to talk about, and I want to talk about basically right now the phone that I've been using 95% of the time as my day-to-day driver, and that is the Galaxy Fold 5. This phone right here is awesome. This is the last phone that was able to use, the second to last, that was able to use an S Pen. The Fold 6 was the very last one because the Fold 7 got rid of it for whatever reason, and I will never get the Fold 7. I don't care how cool that phone is. Nope, gotta have an S Pen, period, end of story. Even if I don't use it that much, still to have it when I need it, especially to annotate PDFs or whatever, awesome stuff. So what made this phone stand out, and this is, in my opinion, one of Samsung's best phones as well, look at that screen. And yep, if you see the railings on here, that means I use it pretty extensively. So between this one, and the last phone I'm gonna talk about, these phones are some of my best phones, and I will never stop using them. So, like I said, 8.2 inch screen, I believe, 2.2, 0.3, whatever. Great screen to play retro games or any games from the Play Store. Got a nice cover screen on the front. Even though it's very narrow, it's still very usable. You can still type on there. Just be careful as you type. So, yes, people may complain about how narrow it is. Use it like this if you need to type. But if you want to just keep it closed, very cool to type on, or swipe type if you want to. Like I said, I got the metal rings, so I can use it with stands, MagSafe stands, wireless charging, so I can use this with MagSafe wireless charging units. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mainly got it for the large real estate when you open it up, because when you play games on here, it's fantastic. And when you do split screen for certain apps, it works very, very well. This will be my number one phone that I would use on my day-to-day. Because the last phone I want to talk about is not one. Now, it would be like top 3. And this is a phone that is kind of different from all of these, because all of these uses Android. So this last phone, an iPhone. Yes, I use an iPhone. In fact, this is my daily driver right now. Got my SIM card in here right now. This is the iPhone 15, I believe. Yep, the iPhone 15. And the reason why I got it, not because of how great the cameras are. Yeah, the cameras and videos are great. The videos are great. Cameras are cool. But I got this mainly because when I was looking for a particular iPhone, I was looking for one that had a firmware that was jailbreakable. And this one was very rare when I found it. This one still has an iOS that's jailbreakable, but the jailbreak on it it's dopamine, but you can call it a permanent jailbreak. So if I turn the phone off, yes, the jailbreak goes off, but the app still remains on here. So all I'm gonna do is touch the app and then press this button right here. It'll say jailbreak, it says jailbroken now because it's already jailbroken. I never had it turned off yet. But if it reaches jailbreak, you just press a button and it jailbreaks the phone, and you don't need a computer. You don't need to be around a computer or tethered either. You just press a button, ready to go. So this is one of the last, pretty much, permanent jailbroken phones. This was the last certified, you can say certified, permanent jailbroken phone. So if you turn it off and turn it back on, the jailbreak still remains. With this one, it doesn't. But to turn it back on, it's just the press of a simple button, and that's it. It's back on there. So this is the last permanent jailbroken phone on the planet Earth. And if you can find one on eBay, you'll be lucky. Because I found this. It took me a couple of weeks to find this one. And it's hard to find one with that firmware because most people update their phones. So you really got to look very extensively to find one. And if you do, good for you. But like I said, for me, and just to prove the phone that it is on iOS 15, give me a second. And here's my proof. iOS 15.6, that's proof right there that this is still running it, and I blocked the updates on it so that I don't have to worry about this updating overnight when I'm sleeping. But you know what's really funny? A couple of days ago, I found this message on my phone saying that critical software update needed. This is really funny how Apple wants you to get rid of your jailbreak. Apple is aware of attacks targeting out-of-date iOS software. That's any phone, including the version on your iPhone. Install this critical update to protect your phone. I don't need your protection, Apple. I have protection myself. I'm good. I'm happy. So my jailbroken phone, I'm still going to have it, and you're still going to be mad at me. I don't care. That's just the way it is. I'm happy with that. Yeah, that's me. And there you have it. That's my collection of phones that I'm never going to get rid of. These are my permanent phones that I will never ever sell, especially this one, because you can't find this anywhere. Yes, right? Got a jailbroken phone. Look how cool that is. Look how the cool things that you can do with your phone. And the apps that you can put on. It's just amazing. I love this phone. Gotta love it. Anyway, that's my collection of phones. Let me know your collection if you have one. If you can show me some pictures of your phones, that'll be cool too. Let me know why you like your phones, and who knows, maybe I'll try to get the one phone that you have that you like a lot that I may have never seen or have never seen a review on. So let me know about your phones, and let me know how you feel about my collection of phones. And if you liked the video, definitely leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Tell your friends about my channel, and hope to see you in my next video.